Beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean, off the southern tip of Japan, lies something extraordinary. A silent monument carved from stone shrouded in mystery and untouched for thousands of years. Some say it's a natural formation. Others believe it's the ruins of a forgotten city built before history itself began. This is the Yonaguni Monument. Yonaguni is a small island just 7 miles long, sitting at the western edge of Japan's Ryukyu archipelago. It's known for its wild horses, coral reefs, and strong ocean currents. But beneath those waves lies something that challenges everything we know about human history. In 1986, a local diver named Kihachiro Arataki was exploring for a new dive spot. 25 meters below, he found something impossible. Sharp edges, flat terraces, perfect lines carved in stone. The deeper he swam, the clearer it became. This was no ordinary rock. The formation wasn't random. It looked like steps leading to a platform, an entire structure resting beneath the sea. Could this be the remains of a forgotten city? Word spread quickly. Divers and scientists began visiting the site, each returning with the same feeling: this didn't look natural. The structure seemed intentional, massive, ancient, and it lay silently in the deep as if waiting to be rediscovered. Professor Masaki Kimura, a marine geologist, took notice. After years of research, he led the first major expedition to study the Yonaguni Monument. What he found would divide science for decades. Mapping revealed something incredible: terraces, stairways, and a pyramid-like structure aligned almost perfectly north. Was this design or coincidence, though? Site appeared to follow geometric patterns impossible to ignore. Divers identified a grand stairway and a main terrace. The symmetry seemed too deliberate. Every edge, every platform felt sculpted by purpose. The monument almost spoke through its architecture like a language carved in stone. Some even reported a giant face carved into rock, a watchful guardian gazing eternally into the sea. Its expression weathered by time, its gaze fixed on something only the ocean remembers. Skeptics disagreed. Geologists argued it was all natural sandstone fractured by tectonic shifts and erosion. But could nature truly craft something so precise? The debate had begun. Art of man or art of the earth? By the 1990s, the world took notice. Japan's Atlantis city beneath the sea. Headlines fueled the mystery, and tourists came from everywhere to see it. The legend of Yonaguni had escaped the ocean. Geological data suggested the monument once stood above sea level during the Ice Age around 10,000 to 12,000 BCE. As the ice melted and the oceans rose, it may have been swallowed whole by the sea. If true, it could be the oldest man-made structure ever discovered. Those who dive there today describe a haunting beauty. Light filters down through the water, illuminating terraces like lost courtyards. It feels alive, like a memory of a world long gone. Was this nature's masterpiece, or the ruins of humanity's first civilization? For now, the monument remains silent, its secrets buried beneath the waves. Next time we journey deeper to uncover the architecture of the deep and what it reveals about our forgotten past. When divers first descended into the Yonaguni waters, they expected to see coral and cliffs. Instead, they found geometry, order, in the chaos of the deep. Beneath the waves lies a formation that seems almost architectural in design. Every plane and edge appears deliberate, each block aligned as if part of a forgotten blueprint. Professor Masaki Kimura, the geologist who devoted over 2 decades to studying the site, mapped it meticulously. He identified distinct zones, terraces, stairways, and monumental shapes that together resembled a city complex. To him, it wasn't merely rock, it was design. The first and most famous feature is what divers call the Grand Stairway. A colossal set of steps rising in perfect symmetry from the ocean floor, each roughly a meter high and wide. The staircase ascends toward what appears to be a large platform, a kind of terrace overlooking the deep. Divers describe an eerie sensation when they swim along it. Each step feels precise, intentional. You can almost imagine ancient feet climbing those stones thousands of years before the sea claimed them. At the top of this stairway lies the main terrace, a wide, flat expanse roughly 50 meters across. It looks like a plaza or courtyard, its edges forming perfect right angles. Some divers call it the stage, others the temple floor. From here, several passages branch out, leading to smaller chambers and corridors. When viewed from above, it resembles the layout of an ancient acropolis, a raised platform of worship or governance. But that, of course, is speculation. No artifacts, no pottery, no human bones have ever been found, only stone. Still, the precision of the main terrace defies randomness. Just beyond the terrace, there's a deep triangular depression in the rock known as the Triangle Pool. It's about 10 meters wide and drops sharply into darkness. Kimura's team suggested it may have once been a reservoir or ceremonial basin. Others argue it's nothing more than a collapsed cavity, the product of tectonic stress. But as divers shine their lights along the edges, straight cuts and smooth surfaces suggest a deliberate shaping. Was this where ancient builders gathered water or offered sacrifices to their gods? Farther east lies a smaller structure locals call the Turtle Monument, a formation resembling a giant turtle from above. The shell is a rounded mound of stone. The head juts outward toward open water. To the people of Yonaguni, turtles symbolize longevity and the connection between land and sea. In many Pacific cultures, they are sacred messengers between worlds. Could the resemblance be coincidence, or did ancient builders carve it as a totem of protection for their city beneath the waves? Moving deeper, divers encounter narrow corridors that seem to link various sections. Some are perfectly straight, as though carved with intent. Others twist and narrow, leading nowhere. One of these is the Central Passage, a long hallway flanked by walls up to 6 meters tall. At its end lies a raised block shaped like an altar, a slab, that looks eerily placed rather than formed. Divers report a strange silence there, the sound of nothing but their own breath echoing off the stone. It feels like stepping into a temple frozen in time. The heart of the monument is what many call the pyramid, or the stage, a multi-tiered platform rising 20 meters from the base. Each level steps inward like a ziggurat or Mayan temple. Underwater drones scanning the formation revealed sharp angles and consistent slopes too exact for natural fracture patterns. Kimura claimed that if the monument were above water, it would rival the pyramids of Giza in grandeur. Skeptics disagree, insisting these patterns mirror natural jointing found in sandstone cliffs around Okinawa. Yet even they admit the symmetry is unsettling. It's as though nature herself carved a temple, or someone long forgotten taught her how. Running alongside this main structure is a long, flat strip, almost like a road. It stretches for nearly 100 meters perfectly level, bordered by raised ridges on both sides. Some divers call it the boulevard. Professor Kimura proposed that it could have been an ancient walkway connecting parts of a larger complex now buried beneath sediment. He believed that what we see today is only the upper section of a much greater structure still hidden below. If true, Yonaguni might not be a monument at all, but the rooftops of an entire city. Under close examination, divers have reported faint grooves and linear scratches along some walls as if shaped or smoothed by tools. Kimura claimed to have found chisel-like impressions that he believed were made by hand. Critics countered that these could easily result from natural erosion or marine abrasion. Still, the pattern's consistency, parallel and evenly spaced, remains curious. If these marks were truly man-made, it would mean humans once possessed advanced stoneworking skills over 10,000 years ago, an idea that mainstream archaeology refuses to accept. Geological evidence supports that the area around Yonaguni was once above sea level during the late Pleistocene, when global sea levels were lower. As glaciers melted, the rising ocean engulfed vast regions of coastal Asia. If the Yonaguni monument was once a human site, it would have been submerged around 8 to 10,000 BCE, coinciding with the legendary floods described in myths around the world. In Japan, ancient folklore speaks of Ryugu-Gujo, the Dragon Palace, a magnificent city beneath the sea where time stands still. Could that myth have been inspired by a real place, a civilization swallowed by the ocean? Professor Kimura noticed another anomaly. Several structures align almost perfectly along north-south and east-west axes. He also suggested certain points of the monument correspond to solstice, sunrise, and sunset directions. To him, this was no accident. It was intentional astronomical design, much like Stonehenge or the pyramids. If true, it implies not only architectural skill, but also celestial knowledge among its builders. But once again, hard proof is elusive. We can't date the monument precisely, and no direct human artifacts have been recovered. It remains suspended between myth and science, between geology and legend. When all the map's sections are viewed together, the stairway, terraces, road, pyramid, and surrounding smaller structures, the entire site spans nearly 300 meters across. That's the size of a small city center. To those who believe this is not coincidence, They envision Yonaguni as part of an ancient island civilization, perhaps the lost continent of Mu said to have vanished in a cataclysm. To others, it's simply proof that nature can be the greatest architect of all, a formation sculpted by water and time. Beautiful precisely because it blurs the line between human and earth. Whether carved by hands or by tides, Yonaguni remains silent. No inscription tells its name, no ruins explain its purpose, just stone and the sea that guards it. Yet standing before those massive steps, even the most skeptical scientists can feel it, the weight of mystery pressing like the ocean above. It invites a single question, whispered by every diver who has ever visited. Who built this place? And why? Perhaps we'll never know. Perhaps the monument is both nature's creation and man's canvas, a place where human imagination met geology and became legend. Beneath the endless waves of Yonaguni, truth drifts quietly, waiting for the day when someone somewhere can finally bring it to light. Local fishermen say that when the currents are strong, you can hear the ocean sing. They call it the voice of Ryugu, the underwater palace of the dragon god. According to ancient Japanese legend, Ryugu-jo was a shimmering kingdom beneath the sea, ruled by Ryujin, the dragon deity of tides. Time flowed differently. There, a single night in the Dragon Palace could mean centuries on land. When divers descend into the waters of Yonaguni, today surrounded by coral and silence, it's easy to feel that same distortion of time, as though they too have entered Ryugu-jo. This legend of a sunken palace is not unique to Japan. Across the globe, from Greece to the Pacific, stories tell of cities swallowed by the sea. In Plato's dialogues, Atlantis was a great civilization that vanished beneath the waves in a single day and night of misfortune. In India, the ancient texts of the Mahabharata speak of Dwarka, the golden city of Lord Krishna, now submerged off the coast of Gujarat. In Indonesia, local myths describe Kamari Kandam, a vast continent beneath the Indian Ocean that once connected Asia and Africa. How is it that so many cultures separated by oceans and time all remember the same event? A flood, a fall, and a forgotten world beneath the sea. Science tells us that at the end of the last ice age, roughly 12,000 years ago, the world changed dramatically. Melting glaciers caused sea levels to rise by over 100 meters. Entire coastlines vanished. For the people who lived along those shores, the ocean's advance would have been apocalyptic. Villages disappeared, rivers flooded lands, drowned, and stories were born. Maybe the flood myths of every civilization are not fantasy at all, but collective memory echoes of a real event that reshaped the face of the earth. In 1926, British explorer James Churchward wrote about a lost Pacific continent he called Mu, a civilization older than Egypt said to have sunk beneath the waves thousands of years ago. Most historians dismissed it as pseudoscience, but when Yonaguni was discovered, the theory of Mu resurfaced. Churchward described massive stone cities, pyramids, and temples scattered across the Pacific, remarkably similar to the shapes seen in Yonaguni. Could Japan's underwater monument be one of Mu's last remnants? Are we simply projecting our myths onto stone? Another mystery deepens the intrigue. In 1513, Turkish Admiral Piri Reis created a map that showed Antarctica centuries before it was officially discovered and without ice. How could a 16th century cartographer know the shape of a landmass buried under kilometers of ice? He claimed his map was copied from ancient sources. If those sources existed, who drew them? And how old must they have been to depict the Earth as it looked before the last ice age around the world? Ancient ruins share an impossible pattern. From the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of Peru, from Stonehenge to Nanmado. Each built with astronomical precision, massive stones, and knowledge of the stars. Could Yonaguni belong to that same family, an outpost of a lost global culture that predated our history books? Some researchers call this the pre-Diluvian civilization societies that thrived before the Great Flood. They may have mapped the stars, charted the oceans, and left their monuments scattered across the earth like breadcrumbs for us to find. Mainstream archaeology rejects these ideas. There is no definitive proof, no inscriptions, no artifacts, no radiocarbon dates, just stones and theories. But absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. The problem lies deeper, literally. Most of humanity's early settlements were built along coastlines where food and trade were abundant. Those same coastlines are now under more than 100 meters of water. Our history may simply be out of reach, resting on the seafloor beyond the archaeologist's trowel. For the people of Okinawa, Yonaguni isn't about science or controversy, it's about connection. Each year, divers return not to prove or disprove, but to feel. To drift along ancient terraces, to touch the cold stones and wonder who once stood there. They describe it as humbling, like standing inside a memory. You realize how small we are against the immensity of time. The ocean remembers everything.
Just securing the
If the
crates
monument
now.
was indeed
The
man-made,
tide is
then
coming
somewhere
in.
in our distant past existed builders we no longer remember. People capable of shaping rock with purpose, long before the rise of agriculture, writing, or organized civilization. It suggests that humanity's story is not a straight line, but a circle, one of creation, loss, and rediscovery. Every ruin, every myth, every submerged city could be a footprint of that forgotten chapter. When Plato wrote of Atlantis, he said it was not just a story, but a warning. A tale of human pride, of civilizations rising and falling, of knowledge lost to arrogance and time. Perhaps Yonaguni is that same warning carved in stone and buried by the sea. A reminder that even the greatest works can vanish overnight, and that the ocean always takes back what we build too close to its edge. To this day, divers descend into the deep blue silence of Yonaguni, their flashlights tracing the same lines, their bubbles drifting toward the sunlit surface. No one knows what the monument truly is, but each time someone descends, they become part of the mystery, a living continuation of humanity's search for its own origins. Perhaps that's the real meaning of Yonaguni. Not a city, not a ruin, but a question carved into the earth itself. A question that says, remember us. Maybe someday when technology allows us to explore the ocean floor fully, we'll uncover the truth. Until then, Yonaguni remains what it has always been, a whisper between science and myth, between memory and dream. And as long as it stays beneath the waves, it will remind us that the boundary between history and legend is far thinner than we dare to believe. Technology may have changed, but the question remains the same. What lies beneath the waters of Yonaguni? Nearly 40 years after its discovery, the monument continues to draw explorers from every corner of the world. Today, divers arrive with advanced sonar scanners, drones, and 3D imaging systems tools designed to see where the human eye cannot. And yet, even with all our progress, the sea guards its secrets carefully. In 2019, a Japanese research team used multi-beam sonar to map the entire Yonaguni site in stunning detail. The data revealed an even more complex formation than previously believed, terraces layered like giant steps. Deep fissures connecting lower sections and flat plains stretching farther than divers had explored. Computer-generated models showed what looked like rooms, corridors, and terraces, but they could also simply be coincidences of geology. Science has always balanced between discovery and doubt. For modern divers, Yonaguni is both a challenge and a pilgrimage. The currents here are fierce, powerful enough to pull you off course if you lose focus for a moment. Visibility can shift from crystal clear to darkness in seconds. And yet every year, hundreds of divers descend into those depths. They come for more than the thrill. They come to touch history, to be near something that refuses to explain itself. One diver described it best. When you're down there, you can feel it watching you. It's like the ocean itself remembers something we've forgotten. Over the years, explorers have searched for any trace of human presence. Pottery shards, tools, carvings, even remnants of habitation. But nothing definitive has ever been recovered. No carbon samples, no bones, no inscriptions. Some claim these artifacts were lost to time or buried beneath layers of sediment. Others believe they never existed, that the monument is nature's masterpiece, sculpted by tectonic forces and erosion alone. Most mainstream geologists agree that the Yonaguni formation is natural. They point to examples of similar sandstone formations across Okinawa and Taiwan rocks that fracture into geometric shapes when pressure and current act upon them. Dr. Robert Shaw, one of the first Western scientists to study the site, concluded, "It's beautiful and mysterious, yes, but nature is capable of geometry too." Still, he admitted something strange, that some surfaces appeared unusually smooth, as if polished by human hands. Perhaps it was a natural formation later modified by people. That possibility, a hybrid of nature and humanity, only deepened the mystery. Professor Masaki Kimura dedicated much of his life to Yonaguni. Through countless divis and years of analysis, he remained convinced it was a man-made structure. To him, the evidence was clear. The sharp angles, the terraces, the symmetry, the alignment to true north. Before his passing, he wrote, "I have touched the stones, I have seen the patterns. They tell a story not of nature but of hands that once shaped them. For Mu Yonaguni wasn't just a discovery, it was a message from the past, a reminder that human civilization might be older and more complex than we dare imagine. In recent years, expeditions from Europe and the United States have joined Japanese researchers. Using photogrammetry, laser scanning, and ROV drones, they've built high-resolution 3D models of the monument. Some of these reconstructions reveal striking order block formations, repeating at precise intervals in straight channels resembling roads or canals. But skeptics counter that human minds are pattern-seeking machines. We see meaning in clouds' faces in rocks, gods in shadows. Perhaps Yonaguni's allure lies not in what it is, but in what we want it to be. Recent sonar sweeps have hinted at even deeper structures, something buried beneath the main formation, trapped under thousands of years of silt and coral growth. If true, it could mean Yonaguni is only the visible part of a much larger site. But excavation underwater at that scale would be a colossal challenge requiring robotics funding and political will that few institutions are ready to commit. For now, what lies below remains unseen. Today, researchers are turning to artificial intelligence training algorithms to analyze patterns, angles, and spatial relationships in the monument's geometry. Early models can distinguish between random natural fractures and likely human design with surprising accuracy. If Yonaguni truly holds human craftsmanship, AI may be the first to recognize it. Ironically, it might take machines to prove the genius of ancient humanity. The deeper you dive, the quieter it gets. At 30 meters, the sunlight fades into twilight. At 40, it's almost night. There among the terraces and the silence, you begin to feel time differently. Every ripple on the stone, every groove feels alive, not eroded but remembering. Maybe the ocean isn't hiding the past at all. Maybe it's preserving it, waiting for us to learn how to listen. Why do we search? Why are we so drawn to mysteries we can't solve? Perhaps because the unknown is a mirror. When we peer into the depths, we're really searching for ourselves, for the story of where we came from and what we've lost. Yonaguni is more than an archaeological enigma. It's a reflection of memory, curiosity, and the fragile legacy of human ambition. In 2024, a Japanese documentary crew captured rare drone footage of Yonaguni at dawn. As sunlight broke through the water, the monument shimmered, its lines glowing gold for a few brief seconds. It looked alive. Then the light faded and it was stone again. Maybe that's what truth is, something that appears for a moment between light and shadow, then disappears, waiting to be found again. Scientists continued to debate, explorers continue to dive, and the monument continues to endure. Perhaps the answer doesn't matter. Whether shaped by man or by nature, Yonaguni reminds us that beauty and mystery are sometimes the same thing. The ocean does not rush to reveal its secrets, and maybe that's why we keep returning. Someday our own cities may lie beneath the waves' glass towers, turn to reefs, highways buried in sand. And when that happens, perhaps future explorers will ask the same question about us. Who were they? What did they believe? And what did they leave behind for us to find? As the camera drifts downward one last time, the monument appears silent and eternal. A cathedral of stone under endless blue. Maybe it was built by hands. Maybe by time itself. Either way, it stands as proof of one truth: the past is never truly lost. It only waits to be rediscovered. The ocean is older than memory. Before the first word was spoken, before the first city was built, the sea was already there watching. And it has watched us ever since. Every wave that touches the shore is a reminder of what was lost and what still remains. The story of Yonaguni is not just about a monument beneath the sea. It is about our endless conversation with time itself. From the moment Kihachiro Aratake first saw those mysterious steps in 1986, a chain reaction began of questions, doubt, and wonder. Generations of scientists, divers, and dreamers have followed, each adding their own chapter to the mystery. Some see architecture, others see geology, but beneath every theory is the same truth: we are drawn to what we do not understand. Yonaguni has become a mirror reflecting the curiosity that defines us as a species. Science seeks proof, myth seeks meaning. Between them lies a narrow path, and Yonaguni rests right in the middle. When we look at those massive stones, we want to believe someone built them. Because to believe that is to believe that humans were always more than we thought: builders, thinkers, creators, even in the dawn of time. But perhaps the truth is simpler and deeper. Perhaps the ocean itself is the architect. Maybe nature is not our opposite, but our partner, the original artist that sculpted wonder long before we learned to carve stone. Each ripple of current across Yonaguni is a heartbeat of Earth itself, It reminds us that our planet is not still. Continents shift, oceans rise, civilizations come and go. What we call lost history is really just Earth breathing in and out, creation, destruction, rebirth. Maybe Yonaguni isn't a ruin at all. Maybe it's a snapshot of that breath, a moment caught between eras, a fossil of motion. Every generation finds its own Yonaguni. For some, it's on the ocean floor. For others, it's in the stars. We search because searching is what keeps us alive. It's what pushes us to map new worlds, to build machines that see further than eyes can, to ask questions the universe never promised to answer. Yonaguni is not just a place, it's a reminder that curiosity is our greatest inheritance. Scientists will continue to scan the site, to measure, to model. But sometimes silence tells us more than data. When you float above the terraces in perfect stillness, the only sound is your breathing, slow, measured, ancient. It feels as though the ocean is breathing with you. And in that shared silence, you realize perhaps the answers are not hidden beneath the sea, but within ourselves. At sunrise, the water turns to glass. For a few seconds, light reaches down to the monument, and everything glows gold. In that moment, time feels thin, as if the ancient world is reaching back to touch the present. Maybe that's the real gift of Yonaguni, not answers, but connection. A bridge between past and future, between human and planet, between the known and the infinite. Thousands of years from now, when our own cities have fallen, the ocean will remember us too. Glass towers will become reefs, metal will turn to sand, and some future diver will swim through our ruins and wonder, who built this place? And why did they disappear? They'll touch our structures the way we touch Yonaguni today, and perhaps they'll feel the same question echoing back through time. Maybe Yonaguni was never meant to teach us about the past, but about the present. That everything we build, every city, every empire is temporary, but the curiosity that built them is eternal. And maybe that's the true meaning of the deep, that we are part of something ancient, something alive. The sea isn't just around us, it's within us, in our blood, our memories, our dreams. Was Yonaguni built by human hands or by the earth itself? Perhaps the answer is both. Because what matters is not who made it, but why we keep looking for it. The search itself is our story, a testament to our refusal to stop asking, to stop wondering. That is the thread that connects every age, every civilization, every diver who has ever looked into the unknown and thought there is something down there. Maybe the meaning of Yonaguni is the meaning of ourselves, fragile creatures searching for permanence in a world that never stops changing. The stones will outlive us. The ocean will outlive the stones. But the questions we ask, they will echo forever. Because to ask is to remember, and to remember is to be human. So the next time you stand by the sea listening to its endless breath, think of Yonaguni. Think of the hands that may have built it, or the currents that shaped it. Think of the questions still rising from the deep. And remember, some mysteries are not meant to be solved. They're meant to remind us that we were here. The camera fades to black. Only the sound of the sea remains. Beneath the waves, the monument sleeps, waiting for light, for curiosity, for another age to find it again. The meaning of the deep is not in what we discover, but in our endless desire to keep diving.